A major ruling has just reshaped one of the Trump administration's most controversial deportation strategies. On Tuesday, a federal appeals court blocked Donald Trump from using the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport Venezuelan migrants allegedly linked to the violent Tren de Aragua gang. The court found that this 18th-century wartime law, originally designed to expel foreign nationals from enemy nations during an invasion or military incursion, does not apply to the current situation. Under this rarely used law, the Trump administration had deported hundreds of Venezuelans since retaking office, with more than 6,000 migrants removed overall. At least 238 of them were sent earlier this year to El Salvador's massive terrorism confinement center, known as CICOT, one of the toughest prisons in the Americas. But the appeals court ruled 2-1 that mass migration cannot be equated with a hostile military invasion. Judges wrote that encouraging citizens to cross the U.S. border illegally is not the same as sending an armed, organized force to occupy or disrupt the country. The ruling comes after months of back-and-forth legal battles. Migrants detained in Texas had sued to block their deportations, claiming the law stripped them of due process. The lower courts initially dismissed their case, but the Supreme Court later intervened, forcing the Fifth Circuit to take a closer look. Tuesday's decision now sets a significant limit on Trump's hardline deportation strategy, though it does not prevent the government from removing migrants under other immigration laws. Reports from both the New York Times and CBS's 60 Minutes have raised further questions, suggesting that many deported Venezuelans had no proven criminal history or verified gang ties, despite the administration's claims. Human rights groups and immigration lawyers argue that innocent people may have been swept up in a crackdown aimed at making headlines rather than ensuring justice. Still, the administration maintains that Tren de Aragua represents a dangerous criminal network driving illegal migration and violence across borders. President Trump has insisted that deportations under this law were necessary to protect American communities. However, the latest ruling makes clear that courts will not allow an outdated wartime measure to bypass due process protections guaranteed by the Constitution. This story highlights the ongoing clash between aggressive border enforcement and the rule of law, and it is far from over. As legal battles continue, questions remain about how the U.S. will confront violent international gangs without undermining fundamental rights. Stay tuned as this story develops, and if you want sharp, timely insights on politics, global affairs, and stories shaping our world, don't forget to subscribe to InsightPulse. Your support helps us bring you clear, engaging analysis on today's biggest issues.